I don't normally cry when I look at Flipbooks, but this one made me cry. So I want to show it to you guys. And but before I do, I have to tell you the story. A few years ago, a guy named John reached out to me. His wedding anniversary was coming up, and he wanted to give his wife a flipbook in which the animation would tell the story of their life together. So John asked if he could commission me to make the flipbook for him. At the time, my schedule was too full, but I told him to check back with me later. So 3 months later, John followed up. He really hoped I could do it, but my schedule was just not letting up. So, at that point, I just had to finally say no, I couldn't do the project. And that was it, I thought. 6 months later, John emailed me again. He said, "Hey, Andy, I'm not sure if you remember me. It's John from a few months ago. I contacted you about possibly creating a flipbook for me to give my wife on our 10-year anniversary. I know you originally declined, but this is my last shot, last plea, last try, one more hopeful attempt to convince a busy man like you to help an old school romantic like me to get his wife to fall in love with him all over again. I don't want to give her another piece of jewelry that she may lose. I want to give her a memory that she can always keep. Sincerely, John." Now, I give John props for tenacity, but as much as I wanted to say yes, I unfortunately had to say no again. My work hours were too high already, and I needed to scale back. So John was upset, but he was really cool about it and wished me the best. 9 months later, John emailed me again, but this time his message was different. He said, "Andy, I just want to thank you. You may not recall, but I inquired about creating a flipbook for me. Due to your schedule, you could not, which I fully understand. I have a full-time job and a family myself. So I took it upon myself to make my own flipbook. It turned out much better than I anticipated, and it was the ultimate 10-year anniversary gift. I'd like to share it with you. If you could spare 5 minutes, I'd be humbled. Thanks again, John." John had created a 528-page flipbook himself and spent more than 60 hours drawing it. He had just decided to do it himself, despite the fact that his drawing skills were pretty much limited to stick figures. But what he realized, and this is what he thought to himself, who could tell our story better than me? So despite any limitations or lack of skills, he just did it himself. And I think the flipbook turned out more meaningful and more heartfelt than if I would have done it with my pro animation skills, because it came straight from him and he put his heart and soul into it. When I watched his animation, there was a moment that literally brought tears to my eyes. Was it his animation skills that did that to me? Nope. It was the story that he shared, the moments that he shared just using simple stick figures. So I reached out to John recently to ask him if I could share his flipbook with you guys, because it's a perfect example of a point that I want to make. I want to encourage anyone watching this, if you have something that you want to express, you want to say artistically, you have a story that you want to tell, even if you feel like you don't have enough skills, I think you should find a way to do it regardless of any limitations you think you have. So now here is John's flipbook. Hope you guys like it as much as I do. Thanks to John for letting me share his flipbook with you guys and for sharing his story. I hope it was inspiring to you as it was to me. My personal takeaway is that you are the only one who can put your heart and soul into something. And if you have a story to tell, find a way to tell it. And on that note, that really is the perfect segue into the sponsor for this video, which is all about listening to other people's stories, Audible. I love Audible. It's such an easy brand for me to recommend because I use it all the time. I just recently finished listening to The Grapes of Wrath, and the narrator was absolutely amazing. I loved it. And Treasure Island, if you guys have never listened to Treasure Island, get this version. This one is narrated by Kevin McNally, who is the actor who played Gibbs in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Needless to say, his narration for Treasure Island is amazing. Audible is the best place to listen for whatever you're interested in, from best-selling audiobooks in every genre to exclusive Audible originals to popular podcasts and more, and it's all in one place. For me, it's the perfect home for getting inspired by the stories of other people's lives, whether fiction or nonfiction. I get a lot of inspiration in my life from both. And the new included section of titles makes Audible membership so much more valuable and gives all members a chance to discover new favorites and new formats like the exclusive words and music series or a podcast. Let Audible help you discover new ways to laugh or be inspired or be entertained. New members can try Audible free for 30 days. Just visit audible.com/Andymation or text Andymation to 500 500. Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching. Tell your story, and I'll see you guys in the next one.